Welcome to our executive interview series at AWS Innovate Day, presented by FedScoop. I'm Wyatt Cash, and we're here with Edward Mays, Deputy Assistant Commissioner for Infrastructure and Support Services and Chief Enterprise Infrastructure Officer at the U.S. Customs and Border Protection. Edward, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
One of the questions we'd like to explore here is how are cloud-based collaboration tools helping your agency improve innovation overall?
Well, that's a great question, and I think you see that we're a very large agency. We're focused on protecting the American people and ensuring economic prosperity and safeguarding travel. Those are the big three missions. When I look at this, though, the underpinning of all of that is our cloud and what we're doing in cloud, and that includes resiliency, availability, and from my perspective, cyber hygiene. When I look at innovation, a few years back, we decided to automate almost all of our patching, which is really important when you start to look at vulnerability management. And that's innovative, right? Why is it innovative? For me, when you have a very small scale operation, you can do a lot of things manually, but when you have an operation that's as large as we do, with billions of transactions per day, $5 trillion a year in commerce, if you will, in trade, and all the things that go along with that, border security, supporting airline safety, travel safety, it becomes important that you can get all those patches done. We do about, are you ready for this? 40 million patches a year. Now, do you think you could do that manually? So that piece of innovating is really important to us from the perspective of how do I allow my people, right, the people that are doing the operations, focus on what's most important and let machines, right, whether it's RPA or other tools, actually do a lot of the things that are manual work. And it saved us a lot. I think it impacts our customer experience, and it drives innovation because it gives us time to ideate on other things, to think about what's the bigger picture, what do we want to do next, how do we continue to innovate.
That's an amazing number, and can't imagine how you do it otherwise. So, next, talk to us a little about where you're seeing advances in new tools and technologies having the greatest impact on improving some of the mission-critical services you just mentioned.
Well, for instance, I think one of the newest tools, everyone's aware of AI now, right? And I think AI is becoming prevalent everywhere. I will tell you that when we have projects that are underway that are allowing us to do new things that we weren't able to do in the past. Currently, we have a Douglas Analytics project that's ongoing from Douglas, Arizona, that allows us to, via an Internet of Things approach, pull in IoT data, merge it at C2 centers, and then help us to push that back to a cloud services brokerage or cloud services provider somewhere, and then allow us to do even greater analytics on that data. That's just one, right? And that's pretty complex, but without AI, right, in those key areas, whether it's at the far edge, and this is edge computing, at the far edge or at the C2 center, or all the way back on the back end at the cloud service provider, this would not have been possible years ago, right? And recently is 5 years ago. Now, what's more important is what we're doing on the non-intrusive inspection area under the Office of Field Operations, using AI to interrogate or inspect containers to see if it's empty or if it contains what it's supposed to contain. And these are the things that gives our officers and agents an advantage and assist, right? Helps them to do their job by doing things for them that would take an inordinate amount of time, like looking through a container versus using technology to look at it and to look for anomalies. So those are two big areas that AI is doing for us. And the other thing that I'm really excited about that's coming, when you start to look at some of the proofs of concept that we're thinking about with metahumans, and how does a metahuman assist that officer and agent do their job, whether it's coming across the border or it's a language translation sort of capability coming across the border, or the officer and agent working at an airport, right? For instance, if you're at LAX and you've got people coming through, they may be coming through from multiple countries. Do you have enough officers available that speak all these languages? Or do you have to, call a language service? That's going to take time, get the right people. Whereas if you have something that's a metahuman that speaks multiple languages, like 140 out of the box, right? How easy or better is that to be able to help that officer and agent do their job, right? So they can do those higher order functions by trying to do a lot of manual things just to communicate.
Both great examples there. Really appreciate that. And Edward Mays, I really appreciate your stopping by here at AWS Innovate Day and sharing some of the work you're doing at CBP.
Thank you very much, sir.